Wait, what about weird?
Hi, I'm Echo.
And I'm Elena.
And this is What About Weird, a podcast dissecting all things weird, from cryptids and aliens to strange science and unhinged history.
This week, we are once again joined by our pals from Greg's Cryptid Corner, Greg and Dan. Say hi.
Hey, thanks for having us back.
Hello.
Do you guys, for people who didn't listen to the last episode, do you guys want to say who's who so they know your voice?
Hello, I'm Dan.
And I'm Greg of the titular Greg's Cryptid Corner.
You know, we should have said, that's Greg, and then you say,
that
that's
been so
Dan.
Confusing.
Because that's
really
confusing.
Yeah.
One of them is Dan and one of them is Greg.
Who's
So
who? Nobody knows.
We're basically the same person. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Every time we kiss, we switch identities.
I want that movie.
We should have just been like, oh, you can only find out who's who if you go listen to Greg's Cryptid Corner. You'll just never know.
Oh, that would have been perfect.
Oh, well, too late now.
Like, even then, it's unclear. That's fine. I'm excited. You haven't said what today's episode's about.
Today we're talking about superstitions. We're doing a bit of a weird talk, so for anyone who's new around here, that is just sort of where we give our thoughts, have more of a discussion, free-form episode than a researched episode. I think this pairs really well with the last episode you guys were on because superstitions can be very localized, and you guys were here for a local lore episode.
What's a stition?
And how do you make them super?
Yeah, I know. What's a minor stition? I don't have any minor stitions.
Minor stition.
Is that the opposite of super?
I was thinking statistician. I was
a
like...
minor stition.
Nope, that's the wrong word.
Well, you know what? But similar, like derivative, maybe. Like the ingredients feel the same. Like they're both a tomato paste with that stition at the end there. You know.
I don't know. You guys are the English language people, not me. We do science. You guys do the English.
I'm looking it up on Reddit, which is obviously the best way to find a correct answer
Reddit
to something.
is the best source.
Yes. Echo, AI Echo. What is stition?
So a lot of people say, I mean, the superstitio part, I guess, is standing above from super and stare, most likely originally referring to the belief that the gods above are in control of every little aspect of one's life. The TIOUS, like the Titius part, is just, I guess, like a very common last part. Cautious, facetious, nutritious, stuff like that.
So supersti is the important part, which means it sounds like it's like intense focus. Or like something has the utmost of attention or something like that.
Super
That's interesting. I didn't know
is
that.
above
Okay.
and sticio is standing. So it means like standing above.
The more you know.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm going to have that in the back of my head where I'm hearing Greg talk about his football rituals.
I love word etymology, but I'm never going to remember any of that.
Okay, if we're on the topic of word etymology, why do I always say someone's disgruntled and never someone's gruntled?
You know, I do wonder about words like that.
I'm just saying. I'm going to start saying I'm gruntled.
Wait, does that mean that's the normal mode of being, is to be gruntled? Because to be disgruntled is to be out of whack, right? Yeah. Okay, so we are all gruntled right now. Well, except for we had some technical problems, so we're a little disgruntled.
Mainly gruntled.
We're typically gruntled. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyone listening today, anytime somebody goes, hey, how you doing today? Just be like, pretty gruntled.
Let's start a new trend.
I'm having a grunty day. It's like a dad noise descriptor. How you doing? Gruntled. Clear out your throat.
I love a good dad noise. So, should we stop talking about words and start talking about other things that we decided to talk about today?
We got our definitions out of the way. I feel like that's so important. We have a baseline. What are we standing above? Which I guess is like kind of nodding towards control, which is at the heart of superstition, is my theory.
Echo and I were talking before you guys hopped on about having OCD and how superstition can really play into it. I don't know if either of you guys have it. I have OCD, and there's a lot of things that I realize could easily turn into something like a superstition, of this impulse of like, I have to do this thing or else. I don't know what or else, just general or elseness of like, there's one hallway at my work I have to walk through and like, I have to tap on certain parts of the wall every time. A lot of superstitions I heard as a kid, I like was like, oh, I need to do this or else everything's going to be bad and terrible. And so I think that kind of goes with, you know, it's interesting that those are the word, the I always get etymology and entomology mixed up. But one of them's bugs, one of them's words.
Very different.
Both bug me.
I mean, I think I definitely agree with you in the concept of like OCD actions are stopping something bad from happening, and that's essentially every superstition. And whether it's something bad from happening or making something good happen, it's still removing the negative.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask you about your OCD? I don't want to.
I mean,
because I know sometimes that can be like life crippling. OCD is like intense.
There's certain things it can be really intense with. There's a lot of things that it's not as intense with. I will say, after getting diagnosed with OCD, it made a lot of things in my life make more sense. But it is frustrating when I'm like, I'm halfway out my driveway. I'm like, I forgot to lock my door. I have to go back and check and make sure my door's locked. Stuff like that. Because I also have social anxiety, I will have an interaction with someone, and for weeks later, I will be like, oh, these one or two things I said wrong. They're going to look into that, and they're going to be like, oh, you're so terrible. You're weird. And I hyper fixate on those things. And it'll be things that could have happened a few weeks ago or a few years ago, and I'll tear myself up on it, and then I will work myself into a hole of like, those two things playing off of each other to the point of getting so anxious that I physically feel sick. And I'm like, everybody hates me, and I am the worst human to ever exist.
I've met worse people than you.
Our government is run by worse people than me. And honestly, knowing that helps.
I think the fact that we're all poor means that we're better people than most.
Yay for poverty.
Is it like an embodied feeling? You were talking about, if you don't mind my asking, you're talking about like pulling down your driveway and then having that. I've had that thought before too, of like, oh, wait, I didn't lock my door. Or, oh, the coffee maker's still on. I forgot to turn it off. So you have to like stop, run back. Is it like in your gut? Is it in the back of your brain?
It's somewhat in my stomach and my back, like where I physically feel it. But it's more so the fact of, for me, I can't like focus on anything else until I've dealt with that thing. Some people will be like, oh, I didn't lock my door, I'm sure it's going to be fine. And they'll just go to work, or they'll be like, oh, if they live in the middle of nowhere like me, they're like, who's going to come out here, and just move on with their day. But for me, I'll be driving. I'm like, I don't know how to drive anymore. I need to stop and deal with this right now.
I'm thinking about our definition of superstition, the standing over. And I was thinking about like sports rituals or good luck charms is like you attempting to stand over a thing. Like you can dominate this thing even though you're maybe detached from it somehow, or you're taking power over a thing that you otherwise wouldn't have power over it. But the way you're describing it, it's like that thing, and maybe in the case of OCD, instead of you standing over the thing is standing over you, and you feel like you have to respond to it because it's like dominating.
I think that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, it does. Like, it is really frustrating because sometimes it feels like I'm not in control of my life. Everything else around me is in control of it. And I think that is a good distinction to draw of like, as opposed to I'm trying to control things, I'm trying to keep things from controlling me.
Thank you for sharing. I don't mean to pry. That's really interesting.
I've mentioned it a few times on the podcast, but honestly, for me, hearing people talk about it really helps me. And, maybe there's someone out there that isn't diagnosed with OCD that hears this is like, oh shit, now a bunch of stuff makes sense,
I relate to that too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that's good.
I'm still not diagnosed with OCD, but sometimes I'll tell Elena, like, the weird thought spirals that I have and like the crazy shit that I do to like get out of that. And Elena will straight up be like, dude, you have fucking OCD. That's exactly what OCD is. And I'm like, what? No, really?
Yeah, it's funny because my mom also has OCD, and she got diagnosed before me, obviously, being older than me and whatever. But there's a lot of things she would do that I was like, oh, she's like, oh, this is something with my OCD. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense because you're not like Adrian Monk. So that's not what OCD is. You don't wash your hands all the time.
Weird gatekeeping.
And then I got diagnosed with it. I'm like, fuck. She was right all along.
I think that goes along with like a lot, and this is way off topic, but like a lot of mental illness and like mental health issues is like we're all so accustomed to our problems, and it just feels normal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I was talking to Dan before, and I was saying all this stuff going on. He's like, "Well, that's just depression." It's like, nah, it's just normal life. That's just normal. It's fine.
I think a lot of us, if you're listening to this, I mean this respectfully and lovingly, you probably have mental illness because you think we're funny. But I feel like we've all had that moment where we're at the doctors and they're like, yeah, have you had any, have you felt down a bunch? Have, this, that, and the other. And you're like, oh, yeah, but doesn't everybody? And they're like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
I literally cannot comprehend like what it's like to not have a mental illness. I do not understand how everyone just isn't existing like the same way that I'm existing.
I know. It's so hard because mental illness isn't the same for everybody. Great example is even within my own family, me and my mom both have a lot of the same mental illness stuff. And like with our OCD, there's a lot of ways that it's similar and a lot of ways that it's very, very different. I'm like, that's not OCD because that's not how my OCD is. And I'm like, no, she's a different person. Her brain is wired differently than mine. And we just got to all give ourselves a little more grace and each other a little more credit,
Preach. Amen. Harumph. Agree.
Gruntle.
Gruntle. Yes,
yeah.
I am fully gruntled.
We all need to be a little bit more gruntled in our day.
It's almost like maybe humans have this concept of what normal must be like, and that concept of normalcy is more a fantasy than a lived reality, and being symptomatic is just kind of the modus operandi. It's just kind of how we all function. Yeah, we've got our symptoms.
Sometimes it's tricky because I'm like, well, what if the rest of the world is all, quote unquote normal? And it's just, I only think everybody's mentally ill because all of my friends are, because those are the people I can relate to,
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever met someone that like doesn't have any like trauma and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I haven't. I just assumed they were liars.
Yeah, you're either lying or you're not traumatized yet.
Oh.
I can change that.
Elena's got you. She'll take care of it.
We've been talking about a number of things for almost 20 minutes. Should we go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes? This outside of the mental health discussion is great and very important. We are a pro mental health podcast.
I don't know how we got onto this trail. I'm so sorry if it's my fault.
No, it's mine.
It was.
Well, the distinction between OCD and superstition is, I think, a really kind of fascinating one. And again, kind of like the superstition definition thing, I'm glad we got some of these like definitions out on the table, because I think I'm going to be, it's nice to have all this like rattling around in my brain while we talk about
and
these.
It adds to the conversation.
Yeah, that's so interesting. All right, cool. I'm enthralled.
I have a short little list here of some like what I think are classic superstitions. I also have a list of ones that I think are more regional, but I'm going to run through a short list of classic superstitions. If you guys, for some reason, haven't heard of them, let me know, but I'm going to run through them, and I'm just going to have you guys say hoax or believe it with, whether you think there's actually something to this or not.
I'm going to say gruntle or disgruntle.
That works too.
I'm going to sound crazy because my mom is superstitious. So I grew up in like a household where superstitions were a really big deal. So it's not necessarily that I believe in them, but I do always fucking do them all the time because that's just how I was raised.
As someone with a mom from Appalachia who lives in the South, I got a whole bunch of them, and I do them just because I'm like, I don't know, nothing's bad has happened as long as I've done them. So, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
The number 13 is unlucky.
Oh, hoax.
I agree, hoax. I think it's a really good number.
It is. Dan?
I kind of agree with it. I'm sorry. I'm not. Okay, I'm going to qualify.
Okay.
I'm not a superstitious person. I don't literally think the number 13 is evil, but I do think like nobody was happy at 13. And if you say you were, I think you're lying.
That's fair. That's a pretty bad age.
So I feel like when I see things that are like numbered 13, like deep down in my crocodile brain, I'm like, no, bad.
Personally, I think it's one of those things that because we have that superstition, we're more prone to notice it. Like you could have a very, the number, I don't know, 27 could be actually, like when a bunch of stuff happens bad for you, you know, when you're 27, when it's the 27th, when you see the number 27, but you see 13, and we've always heard 13 is bad. That's my view on it.
I mean, yeah, it's not literally bad. Yeah. So I'll agree, hoax. I agree.
It's just like, did you bring up the number 27 because you had heard that one too, or is that just a random number?
It's just a random number. Also, 27 is just my go-to number for stuff.
People say, like, all the fucking time that 27 is literally the worst year you will ever have. I guess when you're 27, you just, like, have the worst fucking time ever. It's, like, the hardest year you'll ever go through. And I've heard so many people talk about it. It's almost become, like, a superstition in itself.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've listened to like 12 fucking podcasts now at this point that are like, oh yeah, no, the age 27 fucking is terrible. Like the worst age you'll ever go through. And I'm like, what? Now I have to worry and be anxious about fucking turning 27. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for the
it's
warning.
creeping up on you.
I don't even remember 27. That's how long ago it was.
I think we were getting cheap Chinese food at the King of Prussia Mall together. 27.
That was a good year then.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Okay, that gives me a little bit more hope.
Good. That's good.
Yeah, Dan and I made it through it.
Echo, we're going to get Chinese food when we're 27. Let's do it.
Okay,
yeah, cheap Chinese food. The kind of Chinese spot that has like a room temperature, unrefrigerated bottle of sriracha just sitting out on the counter.
Perfect.
Yes.
One of those spots.
And just-
3 stars on Google.
Mm-hmm.
And it has like a bucket of what I call liquid chicken because it doesn't look great when it goes on the griddle, but
and it looks the same coming out. Let's go to the next one.
Their teriyaki sauce is so good.
I love food court Chinese food. It's so good.
Yum.
Okay, let's try and rapid fire these, and then we can go back and discuss any if we want. No, it's okay. I just didn't even think about it until you were like, sidebar time.
Until Dan's like, Chinese food.
That's my.
I think we're all just hungry.
My mental illness is being easily distracted.
Okay, so next up, black cats crossing your paths is bad luck.
Oh, hoax for sure.
Hoax. Black cats are awesome.
Hoax. All cats are great.
I love a good cat. And a bad cat. Breaking a mirror gives you 7 years of bad luck.
I believe that one.
I think that's bad luck just because you're going to be finding shards of broken glass all over the place forever.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
True. Yeah. I don't think you get 7 years, but, you know, your vacuum's probably going to get messed up. Your feet are going to get messed up.
Yeah, are we all going to believe on that one?
So, just for practical reasons.
I believe it.
Also, mirrors are kind of like, they're kind of spiritual.
Mirrors wig me out. I think we've been over this, but mirrors wig me out.
They're trippy. I don't like it.
And what's with the internet not understanding how mirrors work, by the way?
I know, dude. It's so stupid. They're so stupid.
I don't think I'm on that corner of the internet. I think I'm just on, like, animal Instagram.
Yeah, it's just really dumb people holding up like a cardboard box and then putting their hand behind the box and holding up a number and then being like, how does the mirror know what number I'm holding up on my hand when it can't see my hand through the cardboard box? It's like, you don't understand how
what?
Yeah.
The people
God, that's
why the No Child Left Behind program was started. Okay, dumb people aside, umbrellas inside. Opening up umbrellas inside is bad luck.
Oh, I believe that. I don't do that.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad luck, but what are you opening an umbrella inside for?
To dry it off.
Yeah, don't do
it's
it.
Wet. My mom would do that. I'd like open them up in the living room, like away from any lamps to like let them dry so they wouldn't get musty.
So your rug gets musty?
You put it on the hardwood.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think it's fine. It's a hoax. I'm going hoax. It's an umbrella. How much power can an umbrella have?
No, it is so goofy because it's like, obviously there's nothing to that one. Like, I don't think I necessarily really believe in that, but I still, like, you will not catch me, gun to my head, opening an umbrella indoors. I don't know why. I just won't do it.
Knowing my luck, I'm going to poke someone's eye out with it.
That almost happened to me. I almost lost an eye to an umbrella.
Same.
Really?
Yeah. I was like 6 and somebody opened an umbrella inside of a car and one of the little what are they called? Tines or whatever? Yeah, ripped my cornea.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was bleeding out of my eyeball. I almost have a stitch. It was awful. I still have I think it gave me astigmatism in my right eye. Whatever.
Someone was swinging around like one of those like fancy pants British long umbrellas, you know what I mean? Inside when we were waiting to be released at the end of the day in school, and they swung it back and they hit me in the eye, and my vision went all like white and funky, and I got like pink eye from it. It was terrible.
Do they have a poop umbrella?
It was like floor. It was floor umbrella. I don't know where this kid had his umbrella. I don't want to know.
Derek and his shitty umbrella.
I was going to say, there's only one way you get pink eye, I think.
Well, it could have been. I don't know where he had his umbrella. It could have been. He could have put it in dog shit or something outside. I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, it was definitely
fuck
in the
that
bathroom.
kid. He sucked anyway. So next up, we have knock on wood.
Oh, I totally believe that one. I am a knock on wooder all day.
Yeah, me too. You say a knock on wooder?
Yeah, I'm a knock on wooder. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not just because I love the Mighty Mighty Ball Stones. But, like, yeah, anytime I think I'm going to jinx something, I got to knock on wood. And I will knock on wood even if wood's not around. If you just say it and knock on something, I feel like that's good enough.
This is why I keep wood on my keychain.
Interesting.
You can knock on it. Oh,
actually, that's
strategic.
not why I keep wood on my keychain. It's just a cute little keychain that Echo made me, but I've noticed that it's very useful for that.
Elena's a liar. You heard it here.
I'm a filthy liar.
Maybe this is like an example of when superstition bridges into being just language.
Yeah.
Because I don't really believe in knock on wood, but I will do it performatively in order to communicate that I really hope for something.
Yeah, it's like crossing your
something
fingers.
doesn't happen. Yeah. I say a thing and I'm like, look, I'm going to demonstrate that I really meant the thing that I said. I'm going to knock on this wood. Like I'm casting a spell on my words. They're more potent now. So I guess at some level I believe it.
When you put your hand up and go scouts on, or even if you've never been a scout.
Yeah, you're alluding, it's almost like prayer. Like you're alluding to something bigger than you that they understand.
Yeah, and it's in the vernacular.
Yeah. Idiom as language. Well, I guess it literally is language. All right,
yeah.
We can move on. I'm sorry.
So next up, we have step on a crack, you'll break your mother's back.
Tried it. Doesn't work.
What did your mom do to you?
No,
I know that one doesn't work, but when I was younger, I used to legitimately never step on cracks and sidewalks. I probably did it up until fucking high school.
Yo, I still do it. No joke.
I still do it as well. I also will try and step in the middle of floor tiles and stuff, but you get mad at your mom when you're a kid because she was like, no more TV, or you can't have a popsicle after your dinner or whatever. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to step on a crack just to spite her. And then her back is fine.
Yeah. No, I have a good relationship with my mom. I like her. I wouldn't try to break her back. But I do think that is an obviously childish kind of a belief system, right? And then when, we all kind of mentioned when we were kids, we didn't really step on cracks. And things like that just bleed into your adulthood. I don't know if we talked about it on the local lore episode or if it was on a Stabby or Greg's Cryptid Corner episode. But I think Dan and I both kind of sleep with blankets all the way up to our necks just so the vampires can't get us. And I know that's not realistic anymore, but when I was, how I slept as a kid. And now I just,
I'm the same way. It'll be 95 degrees here in the middle at night. And I'm I have to have all of the blankets on me or else the monsters will devour me in my sleep.
Yeah, it's the same with not having your feet go off the bed either, because it's something's gonna grab my foot.
I do that all the time.
Critters.
I am a foot off the bed person.
Oh, no way.
Take me to the pocket dimension, please.
No,
I don't want to pay taxes.
I'll sneak a foot out the blanket. So 1 foot out the blanket makes everything cooler for some reason. But it will not go off the bed. That's insane.
No, I don't have it. See, I don't have it past I'll have it off the mattress, but I won't have it past the part where the bottom of the bed, that gap where you store stuff between the floor and the bottom of the bed. I won't go that far down, but I'll have it dangling off.
No,
monsters can still get it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's bonkers.
Yeah, I'm good with my feet off the bed. I'm good with my hand dangling down, but I do start every night with a blanket pulled all the way up because the monsters can't get to me. And also, when I feel when I'm walking down the sidewalk, I walk to work every day. I do avoid cracks, but I feel it started as a superstition, and now it's
a habit.
Somewhere in my brain. Yeah, somewhere in my brain, there's a good step and a bad step. And it's not a moral good or bad. It's that was an accurate step, or that was you missed the perfect step.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
So I just avoid the crack because I want a good step, not a bad one.
But it could also be what about sewer grates and manhole covers and things like that, where
Love
it's if you step on a crack, you might just fall through the earth.
I intentionally shoot for the sewer grates because if I fall through, you better believe I'm suing my borough. You better believe I'm retiring young.
I gotta find was it the cabbage monster of Tunnel Town? The cabbage.
Yeah.
What was it? The one that lives in the swamp.
The tunnel monster of Cabbage
There
Town.
we go.
Yeah.
I switched him around. The cabbage monster of Tunnel Town is something very different.
I love that guy, though. He sounds great.
And last up for the classics that I have here is horseshoes over the door are good luck.
No. Tacky.
Good guy. All right. I would say yes, because I like horses.
It's good luck until it falls off the nail.
That's true.
I don't know if I necessarily believe in that one. I do, however, believe in the one that you're not supposed to tip a horseshoe like facing down.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like all the luck will run out.
It's interesting because one of the things I'm not going to have us run through our individual ones. I just wanted people to write some down so we had some stuff to talk about. But one of the things that I wrote down was the way you store your hats. You're supposed to store them brim up, or like the cap, like the bowl side up instead of down to hold all the luck in. Or you're supposed to like put them on a hook. Like that's something that I always heard of, like you store your hats on a hook or brim up. Otherwise you're spilling all the luck out. I think that's sort of similar to the horseshoes.
No, I've never thought of that before.
I hadn't heard the hat one. That's kind of cool.
Greg,
That's
you wear
crazy.
hats. How do you store them?
I just throw it on a dresser when I'm not wearing it.
All the luck's gone, dude.
I don't have luck anyway. It's fine. My horseshoe fell down or whatever.
My internet cut out. How does Greg put his hats?
I don't wear. I have too much hair to wear hats anymore. But I would just
bragging.
I'm sorry. You have wonderful hair too, Dan.
Yeah, we're both hairy boys. It's fine.
I just would take my hat off and just put it on the dresser. Like I didn't hang it up. But also, I never washed a hat in my life. Hats are knock around. Like mine were just baseball hats. So
they're socks for the head.
I don't think I've known anyone to wash a hat that isn't like a beanie.
I've never washed a beanie either. I'm not a gross person. I feel like I'm. Yeah, interesting.
He's knocking on wood.
Yeah, no, I just threw my hat wherever. I mean, back in college, I threw up in my hat, and then I washed it in the shower. That's the one time I washed it.
That was that Phillies hat. I remember that hat.
Nah, that was my gray Quicksilver hat. My Phillies hat was just gross from wearing it for years.
Yeah, that was something to behold.
I gotta find that hat.
Do you remember your little top hat when we were in the band together?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I'd never watched that either.
Yeah,
that thing was gross.
yeah, I believe it.
Remind me never to touch one of Greg's hats.
I don't wear hats anymore. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm very worried about
the horseshoe thing. That's like I feel like that's a superstition that I thought about as a kid, but I haven't thought about for a long time. I forgot about that one.
My parents have a horseshoe over their door, and like I know a lot of people that have one, and it's just like it's not one of those things that people say all the time, but you got to store it like upright, and it's just kind of always been there to the point where I don't think about it. Like honestly, I didn't really think about Haint Blue until I started a paranormal podcast, and now I feel like every other episode I'm like, do you know about Haint Blue?
So how are you supposed to hang a horseshoe? So when you say like, so you can't put like one nail and hang it, right? You have to, it's the two little parts that come out are supposed to be up. It's supposed to look like a U and not an N.
You can put nails. Yeah. You can put nails through the like holes in the horseshoe. A lot of people I know, they'll wrap a piece of wire around each side or tie a string on and then hang it from a hook like you would with like the back of a picture or something.
All right. Nice. I might get a horseshoe.
You should do it.
I like that. I think horses should just have slip-ons. I don't think we need to be nailing them in.
You have a horse. How is that practical? Is that a thing? Because I know you can.
It's not supportive enough for their feet a lot of the time. So if they go on like gravel or roads or like any kind of tougher ground, it can be like really, really hard on their feet not having like proper horseshoes.
All right. Interesting. This is nice because I'm getting fact checked in the moment instead of days after I record an episode. So this is great.
Yeah, and
we're not used to this.
I just DM you like, hey, just so you know, platypus aren't the only egg-laying mammals.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the other egg-laying mammal? Is it a horse? Oh, okay.
Yes, horse lay eggs. That's how we know you're a city boy. It's like that's cow tipping and horses laying eggs. It's
I did both. I've never seen a horse lay an egg. I did cow tipping, and I rode a lot of horses when I was growing up. I was a little bit of I had a horse boy stretch.
I love that for you. Horse boys are underrated.
I love horses, so
I love their snuffly little soft noses.
They're just giant dogs.
They're
are. Very cute.
They really are.
I was trying to think when you were inviting us to this podcast, I was trying to think through in my head, like, what superstitions do I have? What do I do? And we talked a little bit about mental illness earlier.
My superstition is I take my SSRIs every morning.
Yeah. Well, I have like I'll get in the car and I'll have like intrusive thoughts of like, today's the day that I'm going to die, or today's the day I'm going to wrap this car around a tree or whatever. And I have those thoughts. And then I have like this little like routine where I like, ooh, breathe in, breathe out. Maybe I'll close my eyes for a second while I'm driving. And I'll just, I'll push those thoughts deep down into some other personality that I've never met before, and they go away. And in some way, that's kind of like a superstition. It's almost like knock on wood, you know?
Yeah.
I would say that is almost in line with superstition.
Yeah, I think so too.
Or a cope. It's a cope, you know? And I also have a superstition when I'm in the car, if I bust through a yellow light just as it's turning red, I knock on the roof of the car.
Gotta. Yep.
Yeah, I do that too.
Do any of you like hold your breath when you go through tunnels? I know
I
do that.
Don't. Actually, on my thing, I think we've talked about this before on our Thresholds episode, but I always heard that you're supposed to hold your breath when you're passing a graveyard or you're entering and exiting one.
I used to do that when I was a kid. I don't do that
I thought
now.
that was just like a Southern thing, because Echo had never heard about that before.
I don't think it's as big up here, but I think like that was passed down from like my grandpa. So like I knew about it, so I did it, but yeah, it didn't carry over. I try to hold my breath going through tunnels, but we got some big tunnels up here.
Yeah, we got some long tunnels here too.
Yeah, I've never done the tunnel one. It's never seemed overly important to me.
Yeah, I never heard of the tunnel one.
Yeah, I don't know like what it's for, but it's always like, hold your breath through the tunnel.
All the asbestos coming down on top of you.
Maybe.
Some of these things feel like things that started as like little kid challenges of like, I wonder how long I can hold my breath. You know, that you just, like with the crack thing, you just kept doing until like it became a habit.
Long tunnels, if you go through a really, like there's a tunnel, actually there's a sad story about this. Between Philly and Pittsburgh, there's a very long tunnel you have to drive through. And there was a kid that was doing the hold your breath challenge while driving his car. I think it was like a car full of kids. And the kid driving passed out from holding his breath.
Oh, fuck.
I feel like I've heard that story. I didn't know if that was like an urban legend thing or another.
Well, I've never seen like a news article. I just heard that story. So maybe it's a myth. But I heard that. And it was when I heard that, I was like, I'm going to stop holding my breath in tunnels.
I know there's a really long tunnel between, I think it's Virginia and West Virginia or somewhere in Virginia that I heard that story with. So I don't know if that's one of those urban legend things.
If you talk to anybody with a motorcycle that does long distance hauls on their motorcycle, they'll tell you that like some tunnels that are like past a certain length, if you look at the roof of the tunnel, there's like turbines up there that are constantly turning in order to keep the air moving in the tunnel. Otherwise, the air gets still. But there are some long tunnels that don't have those turbines, thanks to like, I don't know, local funding shortfalls or something like that. And motorcycle riders will talk about having to count their breaths while going through those tunnels because otherwise you're just breathing car exhaust and you can pass out while you're on the bike. Yeah. So I wonder if that's also a part of it, of like maybe before these turbines started being installed, if people kind of learned to meter their breath for certain stretches or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of things you could probably tie this back to, but it does feel like a moral tale.
That's yeah, it kind of goes to like, Dan, on our show, you often equate cryptids with like moral tales or not, well, maybe not necessarily that, but like instruction.
They're useful.
So that kind of falls
They're useful.
That.
Yeah.
We did not that long ago an episode where it was the science behind like old wives' tales and stuff, which was the exact same thing of like, here is things that people said for a long time, and here's actual scientific proof behind it of like, don't bring an old broom into a new house because it'll bring bad luck, or the red skies at night sailors delight, that thing, or like, I can feel the weather changing in my knees.
Right. And it just turns out that, that's a kind of like arthritis, and you literally can feel pressure changes.
It's arthritis and pressure system changes. Yeah.
Yeah. We're humans we're smart and we have good storytelling skills.
But we also apparently don't know how mirrors work.
And we have very bad media literacy. So somewhere between the story and the thing that we're trying to communicate, we get a little lost. Yeah, we think black cats are evil, when really it's like, don't put your umbrella in the cat's poop or you're going to give your friend pink eye. You know?
I could tell you stories about that kid. He was a piece of shit. And most people I know that went to my school are like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Anybody, was this in middle school?
Middle school and high school.
Anybody with a fancy, like, hook-handled British old-timey umbrella in middle school is going to be suspect for me. That's going to be a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, do any of you have like personal superstitions? I want to hear all your quirks and features.
Well, I've told you the thing about like knocking on certain parts of the hallway, but I know there's some like, I don't know if they're local ones or just ones that I've always heard growing up, so I assumed they were local, that I do. Like, I always put salt over my windows and doorways when I move into a new space.
Wait, is that a superstition or is that like a witchcraft thing? And is there a difference?
Yes. It's so a lot of people who aren't from Appalachia don't understand what has come to be called granny magic, which if you ask anybody, it is not magic. They will get all up in arms if you call it magic, but it's just like things that you do that if you line it up with people that call themselves witches or say that they practice witchcraft, it is a lot of the same thing. But it's just like superstitions, folk practices, stuff of like there's a lot of stuff that my mom does that I've picked up from her that are these sort of a things. But if you ask anybody, it's not magic. It's not magic. Don't call it magic. It's just what you do. It's just like the things your granny told you to do or not to do or how to deal with stuff of like paint blue is kind of that. Salt over windows, putting railroad spikes at your door at the corners of your house, bottle trees, stuff like that. And those are all things that I do. And it's sort of a mix of superstition, folk practice mixed with like actually practicing witchcraft, but I don't know, it's a weird sort of gray area. Does that make sense or confuse things more?
I think it makes sense.
It feels like it's kind of straddling. You've got a foot in superstition and you've got a foot in like heritage or tradition.
Yeah.
Where it's equal parts like trying to take power over something that you don't otherwise have power over, but then it's also like nodding back to where you came from and carrying forward. Like if this worked for them, then I hope it works for me. So it's almost like your grandmom's still with you in a practice, like through a practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Like a family thing. And there's also, culture things like you guys covered the boo hag on your show and talked about, paint blue and salt over windows and stuff. And that's one of those things of like, well, I've never seen a boo hag and I always put salt over my windows, so it must work, and I don't want to find out otherwise. And, also just, it keeps out bad energy. It just keeps bad things away. And that can be like a superstition thing of I'm going to do this to prevent a bad thing that I haven't seen, one way or another.
That tracks.
I don't know. Also, do you guys know what bottle trees are, or is that just like a thing around here?
I've seen we have a couple in. Well, Greg, I don't know if you've seen them. There's a couple in the yards around my house. I walk by them all the time.
I don't know what it is.
Echo, do you know what bottle trees are?
Yeah,
I'm sure you've seen them. Do you guys know what they're for?
Don't they like trap ghosts?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, you hang bottles on like from trees, or people put them on like pegs on a stick, and it's supposed to catch bad spirits. Like they're attracted to the shininess, and they like catch in it, and then when the sun rises, they burn up in the sunlight. But it's like to keep away bad things.
I love that.
And they're so, especially the really old Southern way of doing it, where you take them from like strings or ropes and hang them from a tree. The ones where you hang them from a tree are so much prettier, in my opinion, than just like the pegs.
Yeah, they catch in the wind.
Oh, yeah.
Because it catches the light, and it's, I don't know, they're so pretty.
All right, so Greg, we're getting you a horseshoe, and we're going to get you a bottle tree. I'm coming over.
Yeah.
We're gonna rig your house up.
I'm loving this. Bring all the ghosts and burn them up.
Maybe that's what your brother needs to do to get rid of that ghost.
Yeah.
Bottle trees and horseshoes and salt over the windows.
I think it's perfect. I don't have like necessarily like superstitions that I do daily. But as a big like Phillies and Eagles fan, I'm insane with kind of like the ritual of things. So like if the Eagles are on a winning streak, I can't wear a different jersey. I can't wash the jersey. I have to watch the game exactly where I watched the first win until they lose, and then I can change the jersey and never wear that again for this season. And I can maybe watch the game elsewhere. Like it's very important to me to keep everything the same, or I will bring bad luck and they will lose specifically because I changed something.
Oh my God. Do you guys watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is it always sunny in Philadelphia, though?
No.
That's what I need to know.
No.
That's my favorite fucking episode of that show, though, is where Charlie is so superstitious that he's got to, like, do all of his rituals so that they fucking win the game.
Yeah, that's real.
Oh, I love that.
That is Philly fandom, for sure. 100%.
I love that.
Yeah, I have, I don't know, probably like 5 or 6 Eagles jerseys. So I have enough jerseys that I can spread out throughout the season. But if they're on a tear and I'm wearing my Kelly Green Hertz jersey, you better believe that thing's going to be gross by the time they lose, because I can't.
Yeah, you better believe it. It is.
Listen,
you can
Dan,
smell him coming.
Yeah,
like,
but everyone appreciates
I smell
it.
Greg coming. The Eagles are on a winning streak.
I'm the one that sits next to Greg at the bar while the game is on going, nothing bad's going to happen this game. No way are they going to lose it.
I'm also very superstitious about jinxing things, and Dan drives me nuts. It's
Okay, Greg, question. Is Dan allowed to spray you down with Febreze if you've been wearing the jersey for too long? Will that spoil the luck?
I wear the jersey just like 3 hours for the game. You know, It's not getting gross.
Yeah.
And yes, Dan can spray me down with whatever he wants. But Dan will, I think it was like the Super Bowl when they won a couple years ago. And he was texting me like, there's no way they're going to lose. I was like, shut up. Shut up, please. It's like if a pitcher is like going for a no-hitter and it's the 7th inning, no hits yet, and you just don't talk about it. You don't acknowledge it, or you'll jinx it.
Yeah, I have fun with that.
I'm going to be the person to jinx stuff at sports events because I don't understand sports events. I'm just going to be like, it's crazy that nobody's hit anything for 7 innings. Wow.
No,
and then everyone's like, shut the fuck up.
It'd be worse if you were like, this game's really boring. Nobody's hit yet. This team can't play. Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that I get really superstitious and ritualistic about. Like, I don't think I'm an insane sports fan, but I am a Philadelphia sports fan, which kind of rides that line.
The baseline of sanity is pretty low for the Philadelphia sports fans.
Phillies fans will throw bricks at people and grease up poles or something, or pole dance. I don't remember.
You're not wrong in either case.
They don't throw bricks. It used to be batteries, but
what kind of batteries? Car batteries or like double A's?
like
hearing aid batteries?
Like, I think they were specifically like D cells,
so big batteries, practically bricks.
But that started when there was a racist pitcher from the Atlanta Braves, John Rocker, talked crap. And then we threw batteries at him.
Here.
That's fine.
Okay,
that's acceptable.
Fair.
That's respectable.
Fair.
Yeah, and then we started just throwing them at people that we just didn't like. And that was
here.
A little too
I also
far.
support that.
Yeah. And then we'll celebrate by flipping cars and burning stuff and climbing street lights, and so that's why they grease the poles.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is we need to just like amp up a bunch of Phillies fans and then send you guys out at like a protest when things start getting violent to be on like our side. We'll be fine.
Yeah, just get us real drunk and we'll do anything. We'll pull a positive January 6th.
I was trying to find a way to work January 6th into it, but I don't want the Philly people to be the reactionaries. Yeah, we need like a keep democracy around a little longer, please. Philadelphia revolt.
What did Trump say the one time? Bad things happen in Philadelphia.
Hell yeah, they do.
Oh, and we owned that.
You are the bad things in Philadelphia.
That's where Gritty comes from.
Yeah, I get a kick out of playing with jinxes and stuff like that because I don't really believe in them, and it's fun to like. I think Greg, I've told you this many times that you're like, don't jinx it, and I tell you it is fully worth it to jinx this to find out that I have that kind of magical power. If I can jinx things, worth it.
So there's a concept in like witchcraft of hexes and jinxes aren't necessarily, keep in mind this is from like my understanding of things and everyone has their own different beliefs and stuff, but it's not something that you put upon someone. It's a way that you influence them so that they like hex themselves. So for example, you know how you can be going along your day with somebody else and they can be experiencing the same stuff as you, but you could have a terrible day because maybe you started your day off when you're putting your shoes on by stubbing your toe, and then you just start noticing all the bad stuff. That would be an example of like hexing yourself sort of a situation. Or like jinxing yourself of now somebody said something of like, you know, or if someone says, oh, haha, maybe you're cursed. And then you start noticing all these bad things happening that you wouldn't have noticed otherwise because someone's put that thought in your brain. Like we were saying earlier about the number 13.
Oh, yeah. It's like the thing where when you buy a certain car, you notice that car all the time.
Exactly.
Or if you think negatively, more negative stuff is going to happen. It's not necessarily that there's any more of that car or more negative stuff is happening. It's just what you're paying attention to.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of superstition is. So it's like if you break a mirror and you think you're going to have 7 years of bad luck, you're probably going to focus on a lot of bad shit for the next 7 years to convince yourself that you've had 7 years of bad luck because you broke a mirror.
Yeah, that's fair. I believe in that.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like when you have a lucky number, right? Like, or when you see like 1111 or 1234 on like 1234 on the
when
clock,
you see a fox,
where
Greg.
it's like, yeah, the fox is my power animal, and when I see it, I know everything's going to be fine. So it's you give credence to the things that you want to believe, like your bias already towards or against something.
Yeah, and all this to say, Dan, you do have the power.
I have the power.
Just stop using it against me.
I'm so sorry.
But also, I was going to say, also, Greg, stop letting him have that power over you.
I'm trying.
Welcome to therapy with What About Weird?
I like hanging out with Dan, but he's horrible when he's watching
Man, I'm
sports
sorry.
with me.
I'll get better. I'll do better. You deserve better, Greg. We should break up. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I think.
What have we done?
I think for me, the only superstition, I grew up in a really hyper religious, like hardcore religious household, and we didn't have any superstitions, like traditional ones. But that is not to say that we didn't have superstitious rituals. I just think that they were all like cloaked in religion. Like, I think praying before a meal, I think is kind of superstitious. Or like they would, like you talk about a horseshoe for good luck. Like we had Bible verses like in loopy handwriting on a piece of wood over the door, that kind of a thing.
I mean, I think that sort of goes into what I was saying earlier about like the granny magic of a lot of it is worked in with like, it's worked in with Christianity and folk practices and stuff. And like if someone had pointed out to your family when you were a kid of like, you know, maybe blowing out candles on your birthday are a pagan ceremony or whatever, or praying over your food is a superstition, they would have been like, no, it's totally different. It's not that at all.
To this day, if you like my dad worked like 50, 60-hour weeks, long days, worked really hard, like worked long enough to be able to retire early. He's not like wealthy, but like he was able to retire early, which is an achievement.
Imagine retiring in this economy.
He's a boomer. So you know he got out while the getting was good. But to this day, my entire life growing up with him, people would be like, "Oh, you've been, you've done well for yourself," and he'll say, "Oh, I'm blessed." Like he won't take credit for the work, and it's not because. It's not like an actual acknowledgement of like, oh, God has blessed me. No, it's like there's a little fear in there that, well, no, if I don't acknowledge God's role in my happiness,
then it'll all be taken away.
It's going to go away, or like bad things will befall me. And I think that's where it crosses over into like superstition, straight up, or like even like the act of tithing.
What is religion other than one big superstition?
I mean, it does kind of function that way. Again, if it is like what was it? Standing over, standing above? You're like opting into a thing standing over you.
Yeah. Well, and it is like the term standing above, they think comes from a religious background, as in, and this was in a time where like a lot of people were polytheistic. So like standing above was essentially meaning like the gods are like watching over you and controlling all these little aspects of your life. And so I think a lot of what superstitions were like doing things to please the gods so that bad stuff didn't happen to you.
Greg, just to explain, polytheism is when you have sex with lots of gods.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, Echo, do you have any superstitions? We've all shared.
In my family, we were always told when you go over a cattle guard, you have to lift up your feet. So if you're ever going out to check the cows and you're in a car or something, when you're going over the cattle guard, you have to lift your feet up. Your feet can't be touching the floor at all until you fully cross it.
One of my neighbors just installed a cattle guard, and every time I pass it on my way to work, I think of you. And I just lift one foot in honor. I don't pass over it. I just pass next to it. And I'm like, Echo.
And what's weird is, so my mom does that one too. And my mom's not even the one that's from the cattle family. That's my dad's side of the family. But she would be insistent. We used to go up to this lake where we would fish a lot. And there were a ton of cattle guards getting up there because a lot of people owned cattle in the area. And every single time we were about to cross it, she'd be like, you better lift your feet up. Don't forget to lift your feet up. And then she would tell me exactly when I needed to lift my feet up and then exactly when I could put them back down.
What if you just left your feet up until you passed the next one?
I did that a lot of the time because there were so many of them. I would just keep my feet up for 30 minutes. I would just keep my feet off the car floor.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Echo's got abs.
6-year-old Echo had an 8-pack.
Yeah, I don't pass very many cattle guards anymore, but I will still do that.
What other ones do you have? Or just that one, really?
It's really, that one's the family one, the general ones, what is it, if you spill salt, you have to throw some of it over your shoulder. That one, don't walk under a ladder. There's one with paint or something. I don't know.
Don't drink it.
If you spill paint, you have to drink it.
We went in different directions on that one.
I don't remember what it was, but there's a lot of them.
There's something about a mother passing down superstitions that feels like it could have started as I don't know why I'm thinking about self-care. You put creams on your face before you go to bed at night, and it's supposed to be a long-term benefit. In 20 years, I won't have as many wrinkles because I'm going to start this habit now. But you don't actually, you can't see your wrinkles going away because you don't have them yet, right? So you're doing a thing, not knowing what the long-term benefit will be, but just believing that the long-term benefit will be there. And probably thanks to somebody giving you that advice to do it. At some level, I wonder if lifting your feet when you go over the cattle guard, yeah. The cow thing. If at some
level, when you
go
over a cow,
when you drive over a cow, you lift your feet up, and it feels like self-care,
like a spiritual cleanse,
or something. I don't know.
I mean, that makes sense. One thing that we talked about in our wives' tale episode was again, with the bringing brooms into places, people didn't understand that you could bring mold spores and stuff into a new house. You're transmitting, you could be transmitting bug vectors and stuff. And it's just, that's always something you did. And no one understood it for a long time. And then it's well, now we understand. There's something to that knowledge being passed on to keep your house safe, to keep your house good. In that similar vein of bringing comfort and not just there's an actual practical effect to this. I'm not sure if anywhere else does this, but in the South, we'll do black-eyed peas and collards on New Year's for good luck and money and stuff. It's just a thing that, people do. And I've had it for a long time. And whenever I don't have it, I'm just oh, I want collards. They're so good.
I forgot. I do a similar thing. We do pork and sauerkraut on New Year's Day.
Who are you, my grandfather?
I mean, apparently. I mean, it's a Pennsylvania Dutch, an Amish thing.
That would make sense. Yeah, my grandfather is very, very German.
Yeah, and that's my family. So yeah, we do. I go to my parents' house. My mom makes pork and sauerkraut every year that I can
invite
remember.
me over, please.
Sure, come on over.
Delicious.
The house stinks for days.
I think a lot of it is just that people like ritual so much. Doing the same thing, having a set schedule is so helpful for people. Not just mentally, but also physically in a lot of ways. Like there's a reason why we have like a circadian rhythm, kind of almost like a biological way that we're supposed to live our lives in like a sort of rhythm. And I feel like mentally we need that too. And so we create these rituals in our lives. And I think that's why religion is so huge, is it because it creates like such a ritual for people to have all day, every day.
It's great that you bring that up, because I posted on our Instagram story a while ago a study that Harvard did, and I know I've sent this to you, and I know I've mentioned it on the podcast a bunch, about how ritual can actually sometimes be more helpful than talk therapy with some things. While talk therapy is still very important, ritual can sometimes be more helpful with things like depression, anxiety, dealing with rejection, even if you know it's complete bullshit. So in this study, if I remember right, it was something along the lines of telling people that if you may get $100 or $500, whatever, a certain amount of money if you complete this task. And then when they didn't get that money, they would then tell somebody, okay, how do you feel about this? Now write how you feel about it on this piece of paper, ball it up, tear it up, whatever, throw it over your shoulder, and then tell me how you feel. And most of the people were like, I think that was like, some people were like, oh, that's a cool little ritual thing. And some people were like, that's bullshit, but I do feel better after it. And I think that the doing actions and putting meaning to those actions as a release can be very helpful, just like exercising to get out some of your frustrations, boxing to get out your frustrations or whatever. Having that ritual of doing something, like, okay, I'm going to take these steps because of this. And when I'm done, I'm just going to be done with it. Have that end demarcation point. But it's really interesting. I put it into our highlights if anybody is interested, and I'll try and remember to post it again. But it's a very, very interesting read.
That is interesting. That makes me think about what we were talking about mental illness earlier. If you think about them, a mental illness as being like a constellation of symptoms, and usually for a person, symptoms are coping mechanisms. Like as a little kid, a little infant, you come up with like strategies for how you deal with the world around you. And then for some people, those strategies as you get older, not only do they not work, but maybe they complicate your life in unpleasant ways. But you still hold on to the strategy because it, quote unquote, worked for your entire life. And that's where a lot of symptoms can come from.
Oh, I think that's a very good I think that's a good point. Yeah.
And there's one, this is like one of the most common ones, is this concept called omnipotence of thought, which is this idea that, which I didn't learn about until pretty late in life. And it blew my mind coming, again, from such a religious background where I was taught that like my thoughts carried moral weight. Like you can think a thing that is like worthy of judgment, that kind of a thing. But that's, and if you just think about that for a second, it's a little silly.
That's so anxiety inducing though. Like I have really, really bad anxiety. If I would have been raised in a religious household, I would be so fucked up right now. Like I wouldn't have survived.
No, you're smart.
Growing up in a religious family.
You probably think your way out of it. It's okay. But the whole idea would be that like, so omnipotence of thought, you think when you're an infant, like a tiny little baby, you start crying because you're hungry and then whoop, here comes the boob and the milk and ba-ba-boom, you summoned that breast from nowhere. Like, so in like a weird way, it does kind of confirm, like I cry, breast appears, I get fed, I'm not hungry anymore. Like you do, like your thoughts do kind of control the world around you when you're a little tiny baby. But then as you get older, that reflex can stick around where it shouldn't. So, and I think that does turn into, Greg, I'm not saying you have omnipotence of thought, but there are people like some Philly fans that are like crazy.
You are omnipotent. Help me out. Omnipotent.
You'll get it.
Thank you.
No, Greg's not like this, but there are Philly fans that I see sometimes that do like all kinds of crazy rituals, and they sincerely believe that if they don't stand on one foot and chug a whole beer before they get a touchdown during the field goal or whatever, I don't know how sports go. Yeah, that it's their fault that the Eagles didn't win the game. Like they'll take it on themselves, and that's an example of
Yeah.
or I have that. I'll be a little personal. I have an instinct where it's like, if I'm present when something bad happens, like somebody falls down some stairs or there's a car accident or something, there is like a moment. It doesn't linger long, but there's always like a little moment where I ask myself, was that my fault? Did I do that? Somehow?
Oh my God, I do that same
Yeah, no,
thing.
I'm the same way. Or when I was a kid, I would, I'd be upset with somebody and then something bad would happen to them. And I'm like, oh my God, it's because I wished harm on them. And I didn't really grow up in a religious household. We had religion, but not really. And
It's just there that you somehow can control things.
yeah, it's just like, I'm like, oh, my brother stole my toy and I am upset with him now. And then he, I'm like, oh, I hate him. And then he falls down the stairs. I'm like, I did that. I'm the worst. I'm not allowed to think anymore.
Yeah, I think it's a sign of maturity, I think, to start growing out of that. And I don't mean maturity as in like a judgmental way. I mean like literally, like as you get older, you start kind of growing out of that. Like by your teens, you're supposed to start pulling out of that a little. But I do think that, especially in America, there's a lot of pressure to hold on to some of that energy, to think that if I close my eyes and think, the poor people are just temporarily humiliated rich people, like you deep down inside, you're going to be the next president. You just got to believe. And as though what you have in your brain actually does have a material impact on the world around you outside of your own head. And I could see that spreading a lot of superstition.
I think it goes back to a lot of what we were saying earlier of people just wanting control over things, needing to find a way to influence things. Also, I just looked at the time. We should probably wrap stuff up so Greg can go see the street ska band.
Yeah, I'm going with him.
Ska Beans? Yeah.
Street Beans.
Street Beans. Ska Beans.
Ska Beans.
Ska Beans. So we should probably wrap this up here soon. Any final thoughts here?
No, I mean, I think superstitions kind of create a way of living, right? Like, I don't think necessarily most of them aren't negative and don't impact other people. So, like, if you have superstitions that you need to do to kind of just get through your day, I think that's
Greg, I love that. Superstitions are like kinks. As long as you're not hurting anybody, have at it. Have fun.
Yeah.
We don't superstition shame here.
Yeah.
That was hard for me to say.
Say 5 times fast right now.
No. I have like 4 speech impediments. Don't do this to me.
4 specific ones. She can name them. No,
No, she can't.
No, I can't because half of them are in a way you can't say. Like, I've done enough speech therapy where I can usually say them, but the word stutter will trip me up.
Cool word.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so mean.
Lisp. Yeah.
They always name it something where, like, the person with the problem has the hardest time saying it. It's so fucked up.
Yeah, they're like, you can't say double consonants? Stutter. You can't say S's? Lisp. You can't say R's? Rhoticism. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm trying. I have to think about them sometimes. But I'm doing it.
And you know what? You would do it perfectly every time if you knocked on wood. There you go. Back to superstition.
My dogs are gonna go nuts. They're just gonna hear me knocking on stuff all the time. It's gonna be the worst. For anybody that wants to find you guys, where can they find you guys?
They can follow us on Instagram at Greg's Cryptid Corner, all one word, and Greg's Cryptid Corner, the podcast, is found on all podcatchers. It's free out there. If you end up liking what you hear, you can join our Patreon, $2 a month. Gets you into our Discord, and you get a bonus series. Dan holds a news series called GCCNN, where he goes through some recent news about cryptids and aliens and stuff. We just restarted our old horror movie podcast, Stabby Stabby. That's a Patreon exclusive on the Patreon. So we just did Harry and the Hendersons. We talked about that for a while.
That movie.
It was a fun one.
Fantastic.
It's very good. You're going to fall in love with Bigfoot. Harry's so sweet.
And now we're trying to do a watch of the whole Harry and the Hendersons TV show on the Discord.
We should do another episode.
I'll
late
join
tonight.
that one of these days. I swear.
We should do one.
We'll try to start at not at like 8:30.
No, I'm saying we do it at midnight, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, double down.
Midnight screening of Harry and the Hendersons.
But yeah, so Instagram and anywhere you get podcasts, if you're into cryptids, we do a new cryptid every week. Just like 30-minute discussion on it, and then Dan tells me I'm wrong.
That's how have I ever done that? Oh, I hope that's not the case. I have a lot of fun. Greg teaches me a lot. It's really nice. I like it.
No, usually Dan says, I want to cuddle this cryptid or I want to eat it.
That's
usually what he tells you.
That's not wrong.
Yeah, so come find us at Greg's Cryptid Corner. We did an episode with you two for the Boojum where Elena came on and she ran the episode. So that was,
I was
a great week for me.
sick and high on cough meds.
Yeah, it worked out well.
But yeah, so anywhere you find podcasts, Greg's Cryptid Corner.
And if you want to find me, I'm usually lurking right behind Greg.
It's a great place to be.
It's nice. It's comfortable and I like it there.
Awesome. Shall we go ahead and do our outro? Since you did the intro, do you want me to do the outro? If I can...
Yeah.
Pull it up. Thank you for listening. If you liked it, please rate the podcast and share it with the weird people in your life. Follow us on Instagram at whataboutweird.pod, where we often share pictures related to the episodes. We're also on Blue Sky as What About Weird Pod. If you have any topic suggestions or personal weird stories, please DM us or email us at whataboutweirdpod@gmail.com. And always remember
to ask about the weird. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.